was this very gorgeous, my God. My very first cake was an absolute disaster. We could barely cut into it. But to be frank, that disaster was the point where I started liking making cakes. If this is your first time visiting my kitchen, hello, my name is Ida. Welcome to my bakery where I share the stories behind each bake. So it all started when I just moved to the Netherlands. I was newly married and my husband had birthday, so I really wanted to surprise him. And because I have always loved working with my hands, I thought, why not making him a cake? This friend of mine suggested that we just throw a party for my husband in their place. I just jumped into the idea and said, yes, please. Perfect, right? Easy? But except for one thing, I had no idea how to make a proper cake. I didn't even know what whipped cream is. So at one point I thought, okay, I will just go to the supermarket and get one of these, these spray foams you put on the coffee and they melt away. And then I told my friend and she nearly had a heart attack. She said, no, Ida, it's not possible. If you put it on the cake, it will just melt away. And she suggested that I just walk to that bakery and ask for a cream. And I did. So I went to the bakery and I asked the girl in the counter, hey, I just want to make a cake for my husband. Can I buy the cream from your bakery? And she just looked at me like I was coming from another planet. And she said, yeah, but we can also make the whole cake for you if you want. At the end, she accepted to sell only the cream, and which was pretty expensive and, to be frank, very sweet. Fast forward to the party, I baked the cake with a random recipe I just found on the internet somewhere, and I didn't even try the cake before decorating. And but I started also decorating with some berries and the extra sweet cream that I got from that small bakery. That was the party then. Honestly, the cake looked so beautiful with all the berries on top and the small heart on top, but I didn't know how it was tasting. So everyone was like, hey, no way, you have just bought it from somewhere. And I was like, no, really, I have made it myself. But no one could really believe it. But then we sliced it. It was like cutting into a rock. So that was the point where people started to believe that you have made it yourself, because no bakery would sell something so hard. But my husband was very sweet because we were still newly married, and he said, no, it's very delicious, thank you very much. But honestly, the next year when he had birthday, he told me, hey, I think it's good if we just buy the cake somewhere. And I think it was his polite way of saying, please, no more rock cakes. Here is the thing, that disaster cake was actually the starting point of this baking journey. That was when I realized that I love making cakes, even if it didn't look good. I really just love to decorate, like work with my hands. That's what I am doing right now. I am recreating the cake that was once a disaster, but now I actually know what I'm doing. My first cake was a disaster and the second one was not much better. Those failed bakes were actually what pulled me into this baking journey, and sometimes failure is really the best teacher. Here it is, my very first cake recreated. So I'm having some final touches with some figs and berries. Let's test to see how this cake is. Is it still hard as a stone or soft? Oh my God, look. Look at this knife going through the cake. Nothing to do with the disaster cake. And I would like to try also the taste. Oh my god, it looks so good. Look at this. I would just try in these and that's very good. So that's the story of my very first baking disaster. So I want to hear if you have any baking fails, please leave your story in the comments so we can all laugh together. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching and happy baking!